Hello, everybody, my fellow YouTube fans and friends. Fan 701. Been gone for a couple of weeks, but here I am. Apparently, discovered I've got a few more hours of time left, and as you can tell by the title, my this is my pre-Christmas wish and motivation to everybody apparently who may not be in the festive spirit, and it's my attempt to reignite that and let people feel the joy of Christmas and you know to really bring something to them that they desperately need. And hello, Percy Rebecca. What a coincidence to see you. You're the first one in. Um, to let you guys know, this is not like a typical type of stream you might be used to because you might be wondering and scratching your head at this point. Fan 701, what are you talking about? What's brought this up? What side of you is coming out? Well, if you read my description box, apparently that will tell you what it is, but I'm going to explain now that lately, for the last couple of years, I've there's been this side of me that I never thought I would show, which is more of a open Christmas humanity warmth that I've never had. You know, because to be honest, for all the Christmas build-ups I've had, I never once understood whether other people would be feeling so down and broken that they would forget about the whole build-up for Christmas. And some are just like depressed and they wouldn't care about it and they would say such horrible things about it, which would be very hurtful to others who are in that warmth of joy. And on this very special day, on the 25th of December or even on Christmas Eve, even the build towards it alone, you get people like that who are very cold and very disrespectful and hurtful. And there are some people who don't mean it. I mean, I can understand there are some who don't like Christmas and some wouldn't give a damn about it, but they wouldn't have to go all, you know, very nasty and very cold about it. I mean, I can get that. But lately, I've just had this new side of me, apparently, that I just recently had discovered I never thought I had. And this is going to get a little emotional about this because lately, prior to what happened in 2020 and to this year now, I mean, Christmas has become a little different. Maybe for good and bad reasons, as we all know. I mean, last year we all got together, as a nation here in England. We pressed through and we helped people out. And for a lot of us who didn't have that Christmas spirit in them, they were helped out, and try to get their feelings for the love of Christmas joy back into them. And I think that was a great thing. You know, a lot of people don't deserve to be miserable or upset. They don't deserve any of that. And even a little Christmas warmth and joy is all that you need to do to get that motivation and that fire back into them. And to be very, very honest, lately, I mean, last year was a hard build up, but it was tough. But the good thing was that we made the best of it, and most of us had a good Christmas, like just a normal feeling, nothing special, but it felt very it was very comforting to know that for those of us who were still with us, and well, you know, it was a good feeling, And of course, this year has been very different because lately we've had the new COVID variant that's definitely spreading like wildfire and putting a lot of us at risk, and another lockdown could come. And I've yet to have my booster, which ironically I'm going to get tomorrow, so I'll be protected. And hopefully I haven't got any symptoms or whatever because you know I am concerned for the well-being. um, but besides that, though, I spoke about this on a separate stream about motivation and that it's this time of the year where, despite there's been a lot of negativity flying around in the world, in other parts of the world, in different nations, and especially what's going on in Europe right now, which is not quite as pleasant as we would like to say. But the warmth of Christmas you know, and the joy of love and peace, and to have friends and family and relatives with us, you know, that's exactly what we need, to focus on, because that is what this day is supposed to be about. We're only a few days away now until Christmas 2021 arrives. And to be very, very honest, guys, I always look forward to this day, and apparently I need to, you know, say a few things that, are going to be really good. And I hope you guys are going to feel better, even for those of you who have, you know, maybe feeling a little upset or feeling a bit down, no matter what your personal issues are or stress or anything that may have happened. Don't let it affect your build up, for Christmas. I mean, I've had it too as well because of a lot of issues that unfortunately I don't want to bring up with. But the fact is, though, lately things haven't gone okay for the last couple of hours in terms of like, because one of the worst things that can happen for any of us is to be broken and hurt on this final build up for Christmas, and it's never happy. It's not a good thing. It's very emotionally upsetting, you know. And I think, and when people don't mean to do such things and they harm, upset people for nothing, and do such silly stuff, they have a chance to apologize and to be redeemful, and then eventually, give something back, and then you earn respect and love, and then you become part of the Christmas thing all over again. And that is a good thing. It goes to show that some of the people who may not like it can sure show a caring side and can, be a part of that. But anyways, if there was one Christmas wish I would love, is to be for all of us in this world to get together and unite, and just enjoy life for what we have and make the best of it, despite the fact we've seen a lot of terrible, tragic of loss of life, and some people who have only just recently passed on, and some have prematurely died, and some have died elderly, and for those who have lost those in tragic accidents, and it really is deplorable when I've seen it happen. It really is depressing when something happens like this, and it can shatter people's Christmas joy, you know, and that's when you have an option to turn to. You actually turn to your friends or closer relatives and friends, you know, and that's who you guys celebrate with. But at the same time, never forget those who have fallen, who couldn't make it this year, and they shouldn't be forgotten. You know, never let that get to you. You know, um, one thing is I would like, I'll tell you one true story that might make you feel a bit emotional, like I'm about to feel. Um, in 2017, my build up for Christmas was a little different because, in that year, my grandfather passed away, in November of 2017, and it was a tragedy. I saw it coming. And after that, it was just, it wasn't quite the same, and we had to have a very quiet Christmas day to remember him. It was our first Christmas without him. And to be all honest, it was very tough. Very, very tough and upsetting. But at the end of the day, I knew my granddad was looking down upon me, and he was smiling, and I could tell he was watching over me. Same thing with my dog, who died in 2016 as well. I could tell they were looking down because they would want us to be happy because that's what they want. And, it was tough. Some of my family members couldn't get over it, and some were a bit upsetting, and it did get a bit nasty. And some did cry, and some didn't mean to be that way, and I could understand. Even I felt upset. But being tough as I am, I held my aggression and upsetness back. And it was tough. It was really tough, but I got through the day, and we had a great Christmas dinner. There were some apologetics going about, but at the end of the day, it was, I wouldn't say it wasn't one of the worst Christmases ever, but let's just say, it was just one of those ones that unfortunately wasn't going to be quite the same. And in 2018, it was tough. Once again, it was very, very, you know, a little uneasy, but we got through it okay. And 2019 was pretty much a solid one, to be honest. It was again a very quiet one, but a lot more better. And like I said, last year was one of the best Christmases ever. We all enjoyed it. We remembered again my grandfather and my dog Yogi, and everybody else around us. Even those that we didn't know who had passed on or whatever. And we got through it okay, and we just had that Christmas joy, and it was just fantastic. And I was hoping that maybe to do it the same thing again this year, but again, my build up for Christmas has kind of derailed slightly. But you know, it's not just because of my own what's going on lately around with you know online and what's going on with my family and everything, but it's more globally this time. It's like I've read everything in the newspapers and on televisions and on the radios that there's been so much loss of life and tragedy and sadness. I mean, despite all this going on recently, I can't help but feel sorry for everyone who have lost something close to them. They've lost either good friends or they've lost their passion for Christmas or they've lost family members and relatives, either from COVID or from a tragedy or something else, and my heart goes out to those who have lost that sort of thing. And my Christmas wish is to send out, my thoughts and prayers to those and my condolences to those who have lost a lot. And I really mean that, guys. You know, Nobody deserves to be negative or down and feel very depressed on this day because this is supposed to be like where we accept life and be blessed with what we have. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm religious, but the thing is, because I'm a Christian and I'm proud of it, but I do believe that this is a day where we should all be very respectful and be happy with what we have in life, even if it's not what we want. We still have to accept it, and I've come to terms with this since last year when COVID hit and things were going to change a little differently. But this year is definitely going to be a different Christmas, and I truly think it will be even better. Never lose your faith. And to be very, very honest, you know, it's a time where we should like get together and just be very enjoyable. You know, even though things are hard at the moment, we mustn't let that get in our way. It's like a determination. This is where I said about the motivation. You could say it's my Christmas motivation. Regardless, there's always something in it for everybody. And I truly think that no matter how down we feel in life, there's always a way to get that fire burning again. And even the tiniest bit of help can do wonders. And I've seen it happen before, believe me. And it's just something that I believe that I think everybody should take in. And, even if it's people that you don't know, for those who want a little bit of happiness and who want to have the joy of life, that's what you got to do. You know, Send season greetings and, you know, stand by people with, who have lost their way and they don't have that joy within them. You can help them for that. And I say this to everybody, even people like myself with Asperger's who have lost their Christmas joy, they should get together with people that they do know and, try and do something grand, I mean, lately I felt this new side of me that I would like to talk about. Because basically, there's something I've learned from the band of Sabaton, this Swedish band who sang Bismarck, The Final Solution, The Last Battle, The Last Stand, Panzerkampf, that Swedish band who do things about war and history through music. Well, they did a song about called "The Christmas Truce," which was based on World War One's Christmas Day in 1914, where the British, the French, and Germans got out of their trenches and they just had a day of peace. And the song that's written about it in the lyrics is very emotionally moving. And if you see any of the reaction videos that they do, it's fantastic. And it's given me a new lease on looking at life a bit differently from a national point of view. Because with me, being a proud Britishman, and for anybody who lives in France and in Germany right now, I think that this Christmas Day is going to be very unique, where I think on all sides we're going to get together and just celebrate it while never forgetting those who never made it back. Because there's actually a line in the chorus where it says, um, we are all friends, and today we're all brothers. Tonight we're all friends in our moment of peace that a battle that never ends. Today we're all brothers. We drink and unite, for Christmas has arrived and the snow turns white. And I think, you know, when I listen to those lines, I feel a very emotional bond with everybody, even if it's those I don't know of, who were affected on that day. And it's just something I think that even in today's time we should get together and understand, even though we're not related by blood, you know, just bear with me, guys. Even though we're not related by blood, we're all, in a way, human brothers and sisters that God made us all. Even though we bleed the same blood, we breathe the same air, we're all in this together. And I really think that on Christmas Day is a time where we all get together, regardless of our differences, regardless of what nationality, and regardless of what we are now as human beings and where we are in life. We all know that this is a special day that we all must have. And that's what we need to focus on. Despite what's going on now with COVID, despite there's so many bad people who have done so wrong, with all the killings and life taking and everything that we've been seeing lately in this build up, it makes me kind of wonder why on earth would people do this on a lovely day like this when there's a nice build up for Christmas and it shatters everyone else's spirit. It's just that's the thing that's really depressing about it. And again, it's never nice to talk about. And I think that coming from my heart and soul, everyone should get together and enjoy what life is for what it is and what it's meant to be, you know, and get that motivation burning, for others in need who need it the most. Never give up, you know, even like I said, you know, there are those who do need help and there are those who would love to have a great Christmas, even if it's someone you don't know. Just do the best to do the right thing, you know. I know, Billy Dudd. I actually remembered the news that happened that I heard. Apparently, a unique universe, selfish attitude is something, unfortunately, in today's time we have to see, not to accept, but the fact is, that never gets nobody anywhere. And some of them will learn their lesson when it's too late and they have to live with it afterwards. And like I said, it's just chaos in a way. But like I said, there are those of us like myself and you guys and everybody else who could be watching. We all have our Christmas spirit within us, and it is a shame for those who don't care and that it means nothing. And to me, that's very, very hurtful. I can understand, but I can understand there are those who don't want to, and I respect that. But even try and show just a little sign of it can do wonders. You know. I mean, if there's one thing I learned about Christmas, was watching the Thomas episodes, which were just brilliant. I can remember from season one and season two and three, and even in the early days, I can remember that was very special. You know, and then I remember reading different Christmas stories. I remember Batman had one once. I remember a few of them that he did back. I think Walt Disney did that many times as well, which was another thing that I think Christmas was very, very relatable with. But I think the music that they play today, even back in the days from the 70s and 80s and 90s, is just still felt to this day, which is beautiful. And it does wonders. But like I said, it's like, like I said before, I mean, no matter how old we get and no matter how many things times will change around us, Christmas will always be something special. That is like a day in life that we should all enjoy. And eventually, it's like a beginning of the end of a new chapter because we're almost near the end of every year at this point. It's like a happy ending that we try and have. And then when a new year comes along, it's the beginning of a new chapter. And that's how we need to take life, you know. Okay, Telegreen, let's not get into the Great Western puns, all right? Okay, I get that. But that's the thing I'm saying. I mean, like I said, for anybody who has had their fire dampened a little bit because of anything that's been going on lately out there in the real world, or if any of you guys have, you know, if anybody else have had any issues, go and stay with, go and like, let me rephrase that. Try and hang with some of your friends who you're close with, or find relatives, or do something right to try and lighten the atmosphere. You know, never feel down. Always try and be positive and think positive and remain positive because that's what the build up for Christmas on this build up for it now, the final 5 days to go. That's what we need, you know, because feeling down and negative is just never the right thing to do. It's almost like the wrong thing to do a lot because it is, you know. Okay, Brandless, I like what you said. I need to share this. Thank you, Brad. Thanks, Bradish, for understanding, man. I really appreciate that. Um, if any of you guys can get this, pass this on along and spread it around because this is what is what we can do. This is the good thing. This is one of the joyful things that we as people can do. We have to make the best out of things for the right reasons and for a good cause as well. You know, huh? A positive mental attitude is how you go. Huh? Never thought it like that before. Well, similar to you, well, I go for a physical attitude because I think more physically, if not mentally. So I go for a positive physical attitude, which is even better. That's just me. Anyway. Hey guys, I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right with you in a minute. In case you're hearing what a sound in the background, I've got my heater on because it's freezing cold out here. For the last couple of days, it was like thick as hell. Couldn't see anything. Like it was freezing cold. But right now, that's why I've got this on to keep my head warm and everything else. But like I said, it is a little bit chilly. Anyways, lads, I'll be right back with you in a moment. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. The only thing that is a bit different out there is like for the last couple of years, I mean, we have snow after it comes, but I have to say, if it was snowing a little bit on Christmas or whatever, it would make it more magical. Huh, must be in a different section, I guess. Telegrain, I think. Well, I don't know why. I don't know why. Locomotive 5629 is getting scrapped. Jesus Christ. Well, that's something that can't be done. If it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen. In any cases, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a little down, just a little bit. But like I said, man. Oh, Billy, that's what it was. Oh, I see. Joseph got scrapped. Oh, I see. In that special, I get you now. I get you. I see now. All right then. I thought it was the real thing then for a second. So sorry about that. I misunderstood there. I've heard about the overrated story of Grand Trunk Western 5629. Yeah, I have heard about it, but I wasn't quite sure about that. But I have heard about it a lot. But again, I apologize for misunderstanding. I thought that I didn't know it was a Christmas special. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is just me trying to get my Christmas wish and motivation out there because lately I've been feeling this new side of me that I've never had, and I've recently opened up and explained that I get quite emotional nowadays at this point for some reason, even with people I don't know of, because it's a time to show peace and love and to be blessed with life and to get together with friends and family. And you know Christmas isn't always about having presents anymore. It's not like that sort of thing where the children and teenagers have that sort of thing. For us as grown people, we take it a little differently, and I love it and I still love Christmas for what it is. And I look back with fond, good memories when I was growing up, and and everything that I had at the time. It was really special, and I think a lot of you guys can relate because that's how I think we should look back on it now. And every day, you know, every time when I look back on it, I'm proud of what I had, and I feel like giving something back. And that's what I like to do. Look at this day as a special time to spend as much time as you please with your friends and family, or even try and do something to make the day special. It doesn't have to be all Christmas presentry, or it's just about having fun and enjoy and getting down together and telling good Christmas stories, and you know relish the past, reminisce on some good times, you know, and that's how it can be, and that's one of the best things that Christmas in today's time for a lot of young adults like myself and for the elderly can have. I mean, even if though some have lost, like I've just recently found out that one of my elderlies has lost an elderly husband just last night, which was very tragic. I was only told, and I was like, oh dear, like that is very sad. But that still didn't, that didn't still dampen my spirits. I still sent my condolences, but still burn with a positive Christmas joy, as ever. It only fires up my positivity. While at the same time, it's okay to mourn for a little bit, but if it's dwelled on too much, it can do something really bad. And that's something I've learned to cope with now, where it's not like you don't have to ignore when tragedies happen, but at the same time, it's like a balance where you can celebrate Christmas or the build up for it, but at the same time, put your personal thoughts on that to another side, and that can be dealt with maybe afterwards. And that's how I've come to deal with these sort of things right now. But like I said, as some of you guys have said, it's the most. This is supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. It's about, as Unique Universe has said, it's a time of showing peace and love, and it's about giving. You know, that's it. And that's exactly what this year is about. Every year, even if we're not having a good time or if something out there in the real world that's going on right now, don't let that dampen your spirits. One of the Christmas things I would love to say and wish as well is also, you know, there are people out there who want to help people, even if they don't got a job, helping them out of a situation can do superb, you know. And that's what I tend to do quite a lot, apparently, for those of you who don't know. Not to mention, you know, the motivation is to help people who really need it, and I encourage and tell people, for those of you, even if you don't know somebody, for those who feel down or those who want a little bit of caring, that's all we can do. It's just like what the Salvation Army do, you know, here in the UK and elsewhere, you know, or even when a community gets together to do what's great for somebody who hasn't had the right motivation or whatever. I mean, we see it in fan-made stories as well, like that one Christmas episode I remember watching in the Maysville series, where um, where Georgie, that Russian articulator narrow gauge locomotive, goes to the Crosby family to give them a Christmas tree and Christmas presents because they couldn't afford it, and they do it for a right cause. That's kind of something that I intend all of us to do for people who can't afford to have a good Christmas or anything. And I think people like that deserve that sort of thing for a good cause. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that I think in life should be taken for granted, and it should be given to other people. Like we have our own, but it's always best to give and always keep giving. Thanks, Bert. Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, in that Christmas special that Georgie did for the Crosby families in that episode, I felt like that was a good thing to do, and I think a lot of people who may be motivated by that to do that to people in real life. Heck, if I could afford the money, if I had a big chunk of money, I would spend it on a Christmas feasting or get a Christmas tree from for something or something like that. Say if I did what he did, I would give it to somebody who would love to have a Christmas, and I just think that's what I think all this should do as well, because that to me personally is the best Christmas gift that a human being can give. And I really believe that that's one of the holy things that we all need to do. Sorry if I'm sniffing up a lot, mate. I haven't felt pretty good with the whole, you know. But either ways, sorry, I'm just eating my Subway as well. But anyways, guys, I just hope that what I've said hopefully can be very motivative. You know, never lose sight that this is supposed to be a great time of the year. And again, my heart and soul goes out to everybody who have lost a loved one, a family member, or anything. And, you know, I wish them the best Christmas that they can have. Or if anybody out there can go out and do a good cause and try and raise the spirits even further to try and give something to them. And I personally think that that's what we need, you know, because nobody deserves to have their Christmas spirit crushed or ruined for cruel purposes, you know. And I think it is very wrong, but there are those who don't really mean to, can be very apologetic and can re-earn their trust, you know. And we've seen this happen before. I mean, we see it in Thomas stories where there have been those who were wronged and eventually they come out on the other side all happy, and eventually they find that Christmas love and spirit burning within them. And just like in 1914 in the Christmas truce, you know, when the French, German, and British came out of their trenches together, you know, even on both sides, you know, the joy of Christmas could bring out the good of humanity and brotherhood, even during a time of war. You know, Christmas can work in many strange ways for good and sometimes stranger things. You know what I'm saying? Even in today's time. Listen, Billy, I just look what you just said there, mate. Listen, with Mason Hagen, despite what he's done, I'm not sure if he actually has got a Christmas spirit within him, but a part of me hopes that he does have a tiny bit of him in, okay? Look, as much as I don't like him because of all the things that he says on Twitter, or because he couldn't get a bloody voice role, I just hope at some point he can find it in him. As much as I would like, as much as how I personally feel, personally with my animosity towards him, I still wish that, hopefully he can, you know, turn around and do the right thing. You know, actually, Natford Studios, I wouldn't say Mason's more than just the Grinch. He's just as bad as Ebenezer Scrooge, I guess. And that's another thing. And that's another thing. That's one thing I don't like about people on Christmas. That is very, very distasteful. You know, it's disgusting. But either ways, for those of us who have that Christmas spirit within us, regardless of who we are and where we come from, even if about making mistakes in life, we can all try and get together. And like I said, the power of Christmas can either change us for good, they can make sometimes the bad people come out of good people and show us side that they couldn't show before. Like I said, this is a special day where, all of us should take life and be acceptable and be blessed by what we have, even if it's not the most perfect thing to have. Like, you know, as I said before, when me and Nafford Studios were speaking in his stream at one point, and you can relate to this, pal, nothing's ever perfect. I mean, Christmas can come in many shapes and forms, but we can't always have a perfect one. We have to, you know, make the best of it as best as possible, and, because there's always a next year. There's always another time, you know. And I think that this is one of the things that can happen. I mean, last year, like I said before, we made the best that we ever did. We made the best of 2020, and a lot of us actually came out really happy. I mean, I was satisfied because I had a lovely Christmas feast. I had some of the best Christmas presents I ever had. But what was most important is that I still had my family with me. And I was just in such a happy, happy Christmas mode that I got pretty emotional about it. Hi there, MSP. Nice to see you. Indeed, Taylor Green. And to be honest, the Christmas truce was such a moving thing. And to be honest, it should be commemorated and reenacted every time. Like this year, definitely it needs to be, because if you watch Sabaton's Christmas truce thing or whatever they did, it was beautiful. So much to the point where I actually shedded lots of tears, man, because not only was I moved by it, but I felt sorry for those who didn't want to commit fighting anymore and those who never made it back. It just goes to show that Christmas can do wonders. Even on a battlefield when you and the enemy are fighting, it brings out that humanity and brotherhood that many of us don't realize. And I feel that way nowadays. I feel that there is a brotherhood for every one of us. Even if we don't know each other, it feels like, like I said, in the lyrics that Sabaton say, on this day we're all brothers, we're all friends, and a moment of peace, and a battle that never ends. It's just something that I think sorry guys. It's just something that I think we all need to understand. It's one of the best things I believe that can happen. I think in anime and Star Wars, and even in Thomas and other fandoms, we've seen that before. Some good guys can go bad for reasons, but then there are those who were bad can actually change into good people. You know, not everybody's good, not everyone's bad. Sometimes it's a mixture of between the two of them, and that's kind of where I would like to kind of relate to you guys. I'm not all good, I'm not all bad, but I try and stay on the good side as best I can. But then again, it's like in the Jedi and the Sith in Star Wars, there's the light side and the dark side. I'm kind of combined a little bit with both, but I tend to stay mostly in the dark. But, you know, because that protects me. But at the same time, shed a little bit of light and enthusiasm and good a bit can do wonders. It's just like I said before, a little bit of help, a little bit of good can do extraordinary things. It's just like what Thomas the Tank Engine said in Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Little engines can do big things. And sometimes doing little things can do wonders for all of us. And I really believe that. You don't have to do something big. You don't have to do something mega massive to do something grand. Just the tiniest bit can do an extraordinary amount of good. And that's kind of the philosophy I kind of follow. Thank you, Natford. That's really honest of you, man. Okay, listen. Okay, TTT fan 84. Look, first off, we mentioned about Mason Hagen, which I don't really want to mention too much. I know you had to mention Boscher. Please, man. Look, I already did a react. I already spoke about this a few times, even though my opinion on him has changed a lot. And bear with me, guys. What he did was horrible. Let's just say, in a way, I think maybe he has changed around, and I think he has got a Christmas spirit in him. I think there was at one time I think he tried to do a Christmas film. I'm not sure about this, but at the same time, who knows? Who knows what he's up to? Maybe he has got a Christmas spirit, but maybe it's not burning as strong. Maybe he's trying to rebound. Hello there, Bradley. Nice to see you. That's exactly that. You know what, Bradley Jones? That is the ultimate Christmas gift I wish on for everybody. We should all be a massive family. You know, no more violence, no more hate or anger, because that can only get us so far that it makes us become bad. I mean, we've seen this happen lately with a lot of things I don't want to talk about because, you know, the controversial stuff that surrounds me with that is a you know, like perfect example. But anyways, like I said, we need to stay strong. So if I keep stuttering and this and that, because I am getting a bit emotional, you know, very passionate here. I'm not usually like this mostly on camera about this, guys. Not a bit up for Christmas, but this year I am. You know, there are times where I do think and I can get a little bit over the top a bit with it, but I can't help that because I've changed into a unique person where I'm showing more care and love that I didn't think I ever had. This isn't drama, man. This is me really leveling with you guys. That is exactly a good point, Unique Universe. I'm glad you popped in, pal. You're inspiring me, man. I really do. That's really some good words that you said there. I mean, I'm not going to talk about political stuff, but, you know, I mean, there are some who are politicians and there are some nationalists, and that doesn't make any sense. You're right. Heck, I'm extremely neutral on politicians, but if we had a world without that sort of thing, life would be a little bit more better. On a whole lot of other things I would love to get off my chest about this, but I'm not going to because I've already said it many times. and it really does do my head in a little bit because the way because politicking direction at the moment has gone in a direction that it should never have gone. That's why I said we're divided, and I think we have been for the wrong reasons. Why many of us have turned on our brotherhoods, and we've gone our own directions. As I said before with other things, there are some certain things I can't go back to. But anyways, guys, regardless of what we have done in our lives, regardless of mistakes, and regardless of things that we do in life that we come to regret with eventually, you know, this is kind of actually a funny. This is actually quite funny, actually, in a very strange way, because every year when Christmas comes and when New Year arrives, we all make a vow to change our ways or even want to improve better. And I've done this every year, and it always seems to happen sometimes. Like I remember on New Year's Day when 2018 was going to go, I vowed that I would progress further and do something grand. And to be honest with you, that's where it all started. And 2019 was one of the last great full time years of my life. I was going out more often. I was helping friends around, and I was still job searching, even though I never gave up. But that year alone did so many great things with such great events that made me feel so alive, and I was so thankful for life. And Christmas was just a blip. It was just absolutely fantastic, and the celebration of that year was so good. Despite what was going on, eventually when the whole change thing, when COVID hit, and then the darkest year of our life engulfed most of us. Let's just say, our hopes and spirits never gave up. We continued on, you know, we continued on to hold on to hope. Hang on, I'm just going to turn my heater off. It's getting a bit warmer now. Ah, much better. Nicely warmed up. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to grow my hair back a little bit. It's just not working too well. There we go. Like I said, we've never given up hope, and I think this year will be a lot more stronger, and we will progress. We will prevail this Christmas. Make it the best we can. It will be a lot better than last year for sure. That is a guarantee. Yes, Bradley, that's exactly what we need to do. You're apparently reinforcing some of the stuff I was saying last time that we need to. It needs to get through people's heads, you know, because lately what we've seen in the past is basically people who won't let go of that. It's just really terrible. But like I said, Christmas can do great stuff in many strange ways. Believe me, I've seen it happen, and this will be no different. Okay, Robert. Heck, Darth Vader may have been a villain, but at the same time, he knows his stuff. Yeah, I would agree. Despite Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith, I think even he would like Christmas in his own way, the way he would want it to be. Hmm. Rather than being on Santa's naughty list, you might as well be on Vader's list. You know what would happen. Indeed, it is like I said, as well as Percy Rebecca as well. Percy Rebecca, I have to say, what you said when you came out as on that pursuit stream about being, you know, I will say this to you, man. I really was moved and I was a bit emotional, and you coming out explaining about you being a transgender or whatever. Let's just say I have a new level of respect for you, and you earned my friendship even more. To be honest, like I said, that was brave of you to come out, and for that, I hope you have a great Christmas. For you and your friends and your family and everybody else. Hope you have a good Christmas, my friend. Bradley, you had to put Chris Jericho's thing, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah, let's Jericho. Yeah, I know. It was a catchy phrase, I will say that. Like I said, I know I've been around and everything. It's just like I said, there's just so many things and crazy shit going on. Pardon my French, ladies and gentlemen. I had to get that out. You know, this is a time of the year, even before the build up. When Christmas, when the build up for when Christmas comes around, it's a great time. It should be taken for what it is. But when December first comes, the final month of the year, I always get that Christmas feel immediately because lately this year it's been Christmas Day all the way around for some funny reason. Some great things have happened. It just feels like this year was definitely unusual. But hey, anything can happen on December. Sometimes Christmas can come a little early, and it can happen. You know, that's one of the best things that I think can happen. I just think that's one of the things that I take for granted. You know. Anyways, Unique Universe, I'd like to say thank you for coming in and what you said. You said some really lovely words that definitely have lined up my spirit as well. It's kind of gotten my Christmas fire back a little bit. So that's really, really good. Appreciate that, man. I really do. Huh. I'm, okay, let me have a look. Okay, Bradley Jones. Even though we're not all together on camera right now, even though that would have been quite nice, this is just me a standalone saying this to you guys. But next time I do this together, I'll you know, next time I come in, maybe on I don't know, maybe on Christmas Eve. Who knows what's gonna happen? I'll put you guys in together, and we can all have a toast together. And if we do, but here's my early Christmas toast in what Bradley Jones just said. Privilege, man. That's for you, my brother. Even though I say that a lot, we're all in this together as a big family. Like I said, we're not related by blood, but all of us, we should be thankful because we're all brothers and sisters on this planet. Like I said, man, we're all friends, we're family, regardless. You know, this new lease of life I'm showing is really, really good because this is the power of what Christmas can do to me. And I'm blessed of how long I've lived in life for I'm almost like for nearly 31 years now. Yeah, in 2 months' time I will be 31, and I may not look like it, but I've lived this long. I've had so many good Christmases to count back on. Some of them were very memorable. And every year it's special in its own way. It's just one thing. It's like a celebrating of one life, and then you go into a new year to start a new chapter. You know, and people should never dwell as much. Yes, I know. Some of you might be thinking, am I being, covering my tracks or whatever? But I'm not. This is me being very honest. I'm leveling with you guys here because, again, I never thought I'd do this. It's the first time I'm showing this kind of passionate motivation and you know, to pass on the Christmas joy, and the love and peace and dedication that everyone deserves. All of us need to show a bit of Christmas love and peace to goodwill for all men. You know, And that's why I'm doing this for you guys. And for everybody else who feel down or who have felt like, or anybody who has lost a family member, who have lost a good friend, or anything tragic has happened. That's why I'm doing this here, to send my regards and my condolences. And I still wish them all the best of Christmas to come. You know, that's how I feel. That's how I feel personally on the inside. So that's for you guys, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm still eating this up life, so I just hope things will get better over time. And like I said, we're all in this together, regardless. We are the best of friends, and I really am happy with how far we've come in life. And no matter how far we do, we'll always, find a place in life. And even when we have people and friends and family members who have not been here with us anymore, who are not with us physically, they'll still be with us in our hearts and memories forever. And that's something we need to also respect as well on Christmas. Even if they're not there, they're still there somewhere, watching and or looking down from the heavens above, smiling. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, and for all my friends out there who have been watching this, thank you for your time, for being here with us. And I hope that my Christmas wish and my Christmas motivation has helped. And I would like to thank you guys for saying, for supporting and saying some great stuff that really mean a lot. And let's just say, when 2022 arrives, let's just hope and pray with our fingers crossed and holding on that next year things will kind of blend a little better, and we'll see where we can go from there, because that's just how I think this year will well, this year should have been. But you know I just hope that this will become one of the best Christmases we can have. you know so again, guys, like I said, I hope that everything will turn out okay. And like I said, guys, I hope you always have a nice Christmas. And I will do a Christmas stream. I do have one intended, but I've got another one to do beforehand, later tonight. And hopefully, I'll catch you later on in the afternoon when I get my other one ready. So, again, guys, have a great week and your final bit up for Christmas, and we'll see what happens. Take care, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is KFan 701. Take care, lads. Peace.